He literally sounds like someone who is broken out of the insane asylum. Like, he just be all over the place. Like, get him some ADHD medicine, if nothing else, because I don't know where he's ever going to go.
When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black.
Let's get at it. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
Republicans were in the wilderness after President Obama won, and so-called experts shared free advice, which was worth exactly what we paid for it. And now,
by the way, dear Fox News, this dude looks like he belongs in the Hunger Games. He looks like he looks like somebody from the Capitol. I don't think this is the guy that you really want. Just my little observation.
Democrats are in the slough of defeat. If Jasmine Crockett is a thought leader of the party, Democrats will stay in the wilderness longer than Moses did.
I mean, he literally sounds like someone who is broken out of the insane asylum. Like, he just be all over the place. Like, get him some ADHD medicine, if nothing else, because I don't know where he's ever going to go. It is time for Republicans to start calling him out and start questioning his mental acuity and whether or not he is equipped to serve mentally. We know when it comes down to his criminality, he is not qualified to serve, but this is just absolutely deplorable.
I just want to say this real quick. Jasmine Crockett is a useful tool in the hands of the Democrat Party. They are propping her up. They are running her roughshod, not because they believe in her, but because she represents something that they feel is unassailable, which is the black woman parody caricature that she presents. That's all it is. Jasmine is no more useful than anything else or anyone else, except that they are using her and her behavior as a shield for her to just do and say whatever she wants to do and say. Let's watch this. Let's go.
You know, it's hard to know where to start with Ms. Crockett. She mocked the governor of Texas for being paralyzed. She conflates attention deficit disorder with insanity, which is both cruel and medically stupid. What she's really saying is that a majority of her fellow citizens voted for someone who's insane. So what does that make us? Here's some free political advice. Insulting voters typically is not a pathway to success. Kevin, I have been around you both on and off air, and I have never heard you utter a mean-spirited comment in the whole time I've known you. Ms. Crockett belittled a paralyzed governor, conflates attention deficit disorder with insanity. There's clearly another way. I've never heard you do any of that. Is that really the path to winning national elections, to mock a guy in a wheelchair?
It isn't, Trey, and it's good to be with you. Listen, I think you actually give Congresswoman Crockett good advice. It's never a good idea to insult voters or to question why it is that they support one party or the other. You know, I'm married to a Republican from South Carolina. I just flew back from our home in South Carolina. I believe strongly in a bipartisan approach to win voters back to the fold. We've got elections coming up, not just 2 years from now in the midterms, but we got an election coming up in New Jersey and a key state, Virginia, in just 6 months. And insulting voters is not the path back for Democrats. It's being welcoming and giving a different approach to those Trump voters and a different path forward to bring them back to the fold.
And now it's time for lefties losing it. And Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett, well, she is back in the headlines. You might remember when she ridiculed Texas Governor Greg Abbott for being in a wheelchair, calling him the Governor Hot Wheels.
We in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey.
I also want to point out, this is something I've noticed, the Democrat Party has become more and more crass. I've heard more profanity from Democrat representatives and those surrogates that represent them than I've ever heard from the microphone of Republicans and independents and libertarians, hands down. The Democrats are becoming more and more crass. Are they seeking to normalize profanity just in normal discord? Because, I mean, Jasmine continually is using profanity. And don't tell me you can't stop. Don't tell me this you're passionate. No, that's not it. Why are they doing that? Let's continue.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey.
Or perhaps the time she admitted that she was only hired because she was black.
When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black.
Well, now she's come out swinging, calling for Republicans to question President Trump's mental acuity.
It is time for Republicans to start calling him out and start questioning his mental acuity and whether or not he is equipped to serve mentally.
Well, that's all very interesting, because where was she when people were questioning Joe Biden's mental acuity?
People try to talk about the mental acuity of Joe Biden. And as someone who was able to interact with him, I never questioned his mental acuity.
And if that isn't enough Jasmine Crockett cringe for one day, enjoy this short clip that she shared on her social media. Yes, she actually thought this was something worth sharing.
Jasmine Crockett, she rises with the dawn, fighting for justice.
I thought this was a parody.
Now see here, none other than Hollywood action star Chuck Norris. Well, he explains why he left the Democrats and became a Republican.
I used to be a Democrat, but unfortunately the Democrats went too far to the left, and the Republicans moved into their position that the Democrats were 40 years ago. See, and so the
Well, real quick, Republicans, that wasn't a compliment. Hey, shout out to Chuck. He's an icon in the action genre, but he didn't give you a compliment by saying that. I just want you to know that. Take that and move accordingly. That wasn't a compliment.
what the Democrats believed 40 years ago, the Republicans believe today. And so I realized that I had to go to a Republican because the Democrats just got too far off the trail.
Wow. Shout out to Chuck, by the way, y'all. Thank you so much for that. And I just wanted to point out a couple of the hypocrisies, a couple of the things that pop up when you talk about Jasmine Crockett and how her leadership really, I mean, is nothing more. And I'll show more, of course, how her leadership is nothing more than a caricature. It is, she's said before that she's here to be a bird in the saddle of Trump. And that's really all she's doing. She's not leading. She's not governing. She's not passing bills or pushing forth ideas to move the country in a direction she believes. She's just here to harass and harangue Trump. And I'd love to hear what y'all think about it. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Give me your comments and and such of that nature. I appreciate you all so much. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.